Hello, welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield. I'm here with Travis Ritzie, co-owner with his wife, Paige Ritzie, of Ritzie's Barbecue. After about a year of pop-ups, last week they debuted their new barbecue food trailer at Yorkshire Liquors. It's Thursdays through Saturdays, but we're going to get into all of that. But first, No Sound Bites is a Daily Memphians weekly food podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series. Hear the newest episodes every week on WYXR Radio Thursdays at 11 a.m. You can also search Sound Bites Daily Memphian, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever favorite podcast app you have. You can even stream episodes at dailymemphian.com. And as I mentioned in my little Sound Bites story last Saturday, you don't even have to put your email address in to listen anymore. You can just, because that's horrible. Who wants to put in their email address?
Just click and listen.
Just click and listen. Okay, let's get started though. Welcome, Travis. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're so excited for something that's like, it feels new, but it's not new. You've been doing this for a hot minute in Memphis. There were pop-ups, mostly at Soul and Spirits Brewery last fall up until a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah. I was doing like 2 Saturdays a month was our goal when we were getting started, just to help get the name out there. Soul and Spirits, yeah.
And I remember I included you last year in the Oktoberfest guide because you were serving up some good barbecue at Cooper House Project in Cooper Young for their Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that was our first pop-up.
The
first person I reached out to, he was like, I love the story, let's chat, and went along with it.
That's another good person we should chat with, the Cooper House Project gentleman. Thank you for that. I love the through thread. But let's go back even further and let's get into your story, Travis. Okay, so you were in Memphis for a while. You spent some very important time in Austin and in Texas that we're definitely going to talk about. Now you're back in Memphis, but where are you and Paige from? Where are y'all from?
I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, 45 minutes north. Hamilton, Ohio is the actual town. Paige is from Lexington, Tennessee, about an hour and a half north of here, like right in between Memphis and Nashville. I was living in Cincinnati when we met. She got a job up there at the Children's Hospital. And about 2 years after we met, she was ready to move back home for her friends and family. So we moved back to Memphis.
Yeah.
And about 2 years after that, that's when I got the job to go cook barbecue in Austin. So about every 2 years we've moved. So 2 years in Austin, we moved back. Don't think we're going to move in another 2 years. I think we're here to stay now.
Yeah, we're knocking on wood. We don't want that. So she had family here in Memphis. So is that the answer to why Memphis?
Yes.
Or is that part of the answer?
Part of the answer. I mean, friends and family. I visited the city a bunch with her, like coming for weddings, and visiting friends and family. It's a great city. You hear a lot of crazy things on the internet, but it's honestly, I've lived in a lot of cities. Every city's pretty similar. I feel like they just don't know what else to say about Memphis, so they just put the bad stuff there because that's what it's been pushed for so long. But I've never felt more unsafe in this city than any other city I've lived in. So
there you go, right at the top. We're just getting into it. I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, I mean it's a great city. Like every city has some problem areas, but I've never felt unsafe here.
So why barbecue though? Like back to the beginning, I did a little bit of research. I did a lot of research, but I know that you got really started sharing your barbecue, your smoked meats, your Texas with some Memphis touches, like in the pandemic, like a lot of people did. Yeah. But why barbecue?
So really what got me all into it is some of our friends that lived in the city, they went to watch the Tigers play in the Cotton Bowl in 2019. And they went to Dallas, and they had some amazing barbecue. And he came back home and was like telling me they took him for a pit tour. He got to like open the pits, see the meat, like look at stuff, ask questions, get his hands dirty while he was just there to eat a meal. And he came back and told me the story and told me some places to like look up and check out. The food looked cool. His story was awesome. And then like the line culture and stuff. It all just sounded really cool. And I decided I wanted to try my hand at it and just kind of fell in love cooking in the backyard.
So you got a smoker.
Yeah. Yep. He told me about it. He was talking about Franklin's Barbecue, which is like one of the biggest names. I started watching his videos on YouTube, like how to start a smoker, how to trim a brisket, how to cook a brisket, everything like that. And it just looked really fun. So I went up to Academy and got the same smoker that he uses in his videos and started practicing.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was like every weekend I was like, hey, we're going to have people over so I can cook again. And it just snowballed from there pretty much. So
that's getting close to 6 years ago that you were doing that. And you said about 2 years into your home barbecuing, smoking journey, you have this opportunity at a place. Is it in Austin?
Yep, in Austin.
Leroy and Lewis.
Yep.
How did you get connected with them?
So when I was like watching videos, just trying to learn everything I could about cooking in the backyard, there was a guy named Brad. His YouTube channel is Chud's Barbecue. He works
Chud's Barbecue?
Chud's
Yes. Barbecue, okay.
Yeah, so he works at Leroy and Lewis. Well, he used to. He worked at Leroy and Lewis. He started making YouTube videos, and his first one was like how to build a smoker.
Yeah.
And my buddy that went to Texas, he's found that video and was like, all right, I'm going to make a smoker so I don't have to buy one, so we could both cook together. And then like shortly after that, he started coming out with like videos on how to trim briskets, how to cook briskets, pull them, rest them, everything, like all the inside information from the restaurant. So like we were just locked into his channel, watching all the time. And that's kind of like, I like their methods. I like their story, how they started, everything like that. And just followed them like as closely as I could on everything, watched everything, like took notes, and so it got to the point where I decided like I didn't want to do my desk job anymore. I was going to YOLO a barbecue business because I was having fun and all of our friends were enjoying it and everything. So I had a friend who was going to help me buy a smoker so I could get started, and I was talking to my wife about it.
Yes.
And she said, well, why don't you try to work somewhere here before we buy a smoker, and then we'll buy a smoker so you can like figure out how to cook for a bunch of people and stuff. Because I was cooking like one brisket at a time or one pork butt at a time.
Right. It's totally different to scale it up.
Yes. So I reached out to there's a guy named Blake Stoker. He's in Martin, Tennessee. I reached out to him. He's very big in the Texas community. Bane was in his food truck at that point. I reached out to him just to see if I could like cut my teeth, like messing with the fire, scaling up a little bit. Nobody really had any time to take on somebody who had no clue what they were doing, essentially. So I just started watching Instagram, and Leroy and Lewis posted that they were hiring a part-time dishwasher. And I knew that a lot of places, like when you start in Texas, you're going to not start as a cook, especially if you have no experience. So I was like talking to my wife, and I was like, well, they're hiring a dishwasher. Can I just apply? And she was like, sure. So we both thought that they were going to say like, thank you, that's cool. Like, we appreciate it, but we need somebody with experience. And at that point, I had like gone and visited to try them and talk to them, and try their food and everything. You
were committed to this
pitch. So I applied, and he was like, hey, I remember when you came and visited, like when we talked, I've seen your stuff on Instagram. Let's get a call together.
Yeah.
And he was asking me what I was looking for from the business for my time there. And I told him, I was like, I know some of the basics. I really want to do it. I want to come there to learn how to run a food truck and bring it back to Memphis. And he was like, that's like, I guess that was all I needed to hear. He told me if I could, he said we'd talk again. He got me to come down and work a weekend with him on the trailer just to see like how I'd fit in.
And who is this person?
That's Leroy, Evan Leroy.
Evan Leroy, okay. Yeah.
Talked to Evan on the phone. He had me come down and stage, basically like a unpaid internship for a weekend. Just come and mess around and kind of see what I knew, what I didn't know. And at the end of that, he said, if you guys can get a job, like if your wife can get a job and you can move down here, then you have a job. So just let me know and we'll get it situated. And a couple weeks after that, Paige had an interview. So I called him. I was like, hey, if you're serious, she's got an interview and we're going to start looking. And that was it.
And that's what you did?
Yeah.
And when was that? We moved there in December of 2021. So that would have been a couple months prior. Yeah, that's amazing. And so your desk job, as you called it, what field did you work in before?
I was a production scheduler for a chemical company, Ideal Chemical, here in town. So I would look at the orders in the system and see what everybody needed. And I would basically tell our production crew, like, we need X amount of 55-gallon barrels of this and like 1 gallon buckets of this and like all kinds of different things. Basically, just look at the orders, come up with a production schedule for our crew to run through the week, and rinse and repeat.
And this is not related at all in any way, shape, or form.
No,
with
not
running
even close.
this restaurant. I feel like I'm being sarcastic though, because that seems
it kind of helps a little
exactly
bit.
What you do.
Like it helps a lot with like ordering, trying to guess what I need to cook each week. Like
that inventory.
Yeah,
people keep talking to me about inventory on this podcast, and I'm like,
it can be very annoying. It can be really frustrating, especially like when you're in a food truck. If you can't necessarily store everything on a food truck, so then you have to remember what you got in this place and what you got in that place, and stuff can be kind of messy, but I learned some good systems when I was working in Texas, so that helps out a lot. That's
amazing. So I think people should know a little bit more about Leroy and Lewis, because they say that and I'm sure that they say they are the first and only barbecue restaurant to get a Michelin star. So they have 1 Michelin star.
Yes. So
that's crazy, first of all. Like, that's wild. We've had some Michelin star buzz in Memphis lately with Kinfolk that we had on Soundbites a few weeks ago, talking about how, like, the Michelin people reached out to them and said they were considering them, like, probably not for a star, but for some sort of, like, guide inclusion or another note. But these folks that you worked with in Austin snagged a star. What is their story? What do you know about that?
So they were one of 4 to get the first Michelin stars for American style barbecue in the world. So 4 restaurants got awarded those at the same time. I believe Evan didn't work in food. He wanted to like become a food writer, went to school for that, ended up in New York, cooking barbecue at a Texas style spot in New York.
Sure.
And moved when he was ready to come back to Austin, where he was from before that. He moved into another barbecue restaurant down there called Friedman's. And he, that's where he met Brad for Chud's Barbecue. That's where they met. He worked with a lot of other like big names in the industry. There's the people that were number 1 on the previous Texas Monthly Barbecue list.
Yes.
A couple of the owners of that restaurant, he worked with them there. And then I guess he decided, why do this for somebody else? I'm going to do it for myself.
Yeah.
And he met his business partner, Leroy Lewis, and that's where Leroy and Lewis came from. And they started their own food truck. Yeah, 2017 is when
2017,
yeah. Food truck, yeah.
Yep. And so then you were there for a couple of years. How long were you working with them?
I was there 2.5 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. We basically, when we got accepted, it was like, all right, we knew Paige was going to have to sign like a relocation agreement for 2 years. So we just looked at 2 years as going to be my apprenticeship, essentially. And always knew that there was going to be an end. So we just went in there and learned as much as possible, asked as many questions, and did a little bit of everything.
I feel like asking you what you learned at this restaurant. Did they open their brick and mortar while you were there with them?
Yes.
Okay.
So they were in a food truck from 2017 until, I guess I moved here in May of 2024. So it would have opened earlier in 2024. So I got to see like the whole process of like dealing with the city for permits and talking to fire marshals and all that, everything on that side of it, getting permits passed and everything, and then trying to work with construction teams to get stuff built and sourcing equipment. So like I literally got to see how a food truck operated and then how you start building a restaurant, getting everything like equipped, staffed, figuring out how much you're going to start cooking, like scaling up and everything. Because they were already a pretty big operation for a food truck and then into a restaurant. So it went from pretty big to really big in the course of a week. And then just kept snowballing from there. I had lots of things. I started there and I had zero experience. I've never cooked, and I'm not as much as McDonald's or anything. So just cooking at home. Growing up cooking, liked it, and kind of found my little niche spot in that. What is
something you learned that maybe surprised you the most about any part of that business? Or something that turned your expectation around? Because I feel like I would go and I'd be like, well, I think it's going to be like this or it's going to be like this. But
yeah, I guess like I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't I guess the best way to word it is like it's some of the hardest work you'll ever do, but it's also the most like fulfilled I've ever been, especially professionally. So it kind of makes like the long hours, the hard work, you know, some customers are not so fun. A lot of them are great. So it just getting that like fulfillment makes the emotional roller coaster of running a business a lot easier.
Yes. Back of the house.
Yeah.
Staying up late.
Staying up late, getting up early. A lot of barbecue cooks. We're starting at, I'll set my alarm for 2:30 in the morning, and I'm outside, have the fire rolling by 3:30 and cooking. And then it's like a 12-hour brisket cook for that. So lots of long days, and I'm doing a majority of the cooking. My wife, Paige, will help me like with the sides and stuff when she's got time. So just lots of moving and grooving.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about your menu at Ritzie's Barbecue in Memphis now. Okay, so you were doing, you left, came back from Austin with your experience there, and you guys started, you were cooking at the house, you were packing it up, you were taking to pop up. We talked about Cooper House Project, and then you've been at Soul and Spirits about twice a month for several months, but now you've got your own trailer.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt nice to finally use it instead of just telling people about it. So first weekend was amazing.
That's great. So walk me through your menu, because it is definitely Texas style, but there are some Memphis influences. You have a honey gold rib. What even is it? So but walk me through your menu and definitely stop there.
So we've got, like, as far as the big proteins, I'm doing Texas-inspired brisket, obviously, which is only seasoned with salt and pepper. And then we've got pork butt. The only rub I use is salt and pepper. I don't have any special rub or anything that goes on this meat, but not this meat. So everything that you'll find on my smoker is salt and pepper. And then, I've got the ribs, I've got some chicken. I just kind of a couple options for everybody. And then the sides, it's very common in barbecue for there to be potato salad and mac and cheese. So I kind of wanted to switch that up a little bit.
You have completely different sides.
Yes. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So I did dill pickle pasta salad instead of a potato salad, and then cheesy potatoes instead of a mac and cheese. And then the cheesy potatoes I've been eating my whole life. It's like my mom's super secret recipe that gets brought to every family gathering. So I just knew immediately that's what's going on the menu.
Well, what's in it?
All kinds of good stuff.
Okay.
I might be able to give you a little bit of a list if you come and try.
Okay.
I can describe the texture of those potatoes.
Please.
It's almost like a twice baked potato, but without the skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Sounds like an excellent texture. Yeah. Okay. The dill pickle pasta salad.
Yep, dill pickle pasta salad. My wife actually, when we were cooking in the backyard, she came across the recipe and then made it, and everybody started freaking out. I fell in love with it. I was having her make it just for lunch or for dinners throughout the week, and I kind of took the recipe and kept it in my notebook until I was ready to work on it and make it a little bit, throw a couple little touches on it here and there. But that one was another one that I knew was going to be on the menu just because of how much I liked it. Like, my goal is pretty much just make stuff that I like. And then if I'm passionate about it, it'll be good enough for other people is how I'm trying to approach the menu. Yeah,
it's working. I also noticed there's an apple poppy seed slaw. I love slaw. I am slaw dog. I'm all about it. I don't know if that's a term. I made it up. Maybe I didn't.
I like it. It's a good one.
Well, it's like slaw on a hot dog. Maybe it's a slaw dog. But tell me about the slaw, because I perked up on that one.
Yeah. So slaw, to me, slaw on a pulled pork sandwich is very Memphis. So I'm not super big into slaw.
Sure.
And so I didn't want to have it on the menu, but then I felt like if I'm going to do barbecue in Memphis, I have to have a slaw. So I wanted to find.
You got to do it your way.
Yes. So no mustard slaw, like a little my own twist on it. It's not very sweet. It's nice, light, refreshing. A little bit of sweetness from the apples and some poppy seeds in there. It's got some lemon juice.
Yeah. So no mustard. You said
no mustard, no sugar. Nice, light, and crisp, just to kind of cut all the richness on the plate.
It sounds amazing. So let's go back to the meat though, and this honey gold, just we could probably write a book about it. Maybe we will. The honey gold sauce for Memphis. But you have put it on a rack of pork ribs.
Yes. Pork spare ribs.
Tell me just Tell me everything.
Yeah, when we were...
What do you have to say for yourself on this?
I just had an insanely lucky idea. I was just thinking, it was before we moved here, just trying to think over the menu, like, how can I do something new but add, like, a Memphis twist to it? And honey gold wings are, like, one of my favorite wing flavors since I've discovered that moving here.
Yes.
And then a pork rib is about as close as you can get to a chicken wing on a pig.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I figured, why not try them together? And it was just a match made in heaven. Like,
and people are
never had to second guess it or think about putting a different sauce on there. Yeah, I know somebody who have worked at some wing spots in the city. I asked them how they make the wing sauce, and I basically got a copy of a wing sauce and adjusted it to make it a little bit more of like a Texas barbecue.
Yeah. Can you tell us where? Or is it a secret?
I don't know if I should tell you the spot that it came from, but it's really simple. It like blew my mind how simple it was. When I was trying to make my own, I was overcomplicating it. And it's just a really simple, delicious sauce.
That's great. People maybe have done that before. Mm-hmm. If you're listening and you know of someone who's put that on ribs, I'd love to hear about it. I just hadn't heard about it before.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it, and it was just like, I got to use one of Memphis's favorite sauce on something on the truck. So, well,
it's fun the way that you're melding these two styles of barbecue, which sometimes can be a fight. In fact, I noticed on your menu you have this graphic of like old-timey boxers, and they're like, the guy with the Ritzie's shirt on is like punching another guy.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
That's just, a little bit of...
A little jab?
Trying to put us out there. I won't name any names, but we're just serious about what we do. And trying to put it all out on the line.
Yeah. And you're serious about what you do, specifically meaning the Texas and Memphis style mix.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it here. I thought that was fun, though.
Yeah.
It goes with kind of like this vintage vibe that you have going on with some of your design. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a lot of my inspiration is like American traditional like style and tattooing.
Yeah.
So when I talked to the person who I worked to come up with the graphics, I was like, this is what I like really enjoy. I want my business to be somewhere. It doesn't have to be like straight up American traditional themes, but I want to like incorporate the style into it. And he did a really good job. That's
great. So how many people do you have working with you now, or is it just...
It's me and my wife.
You and Paige.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Travis and Paige.
Yep. Travis and Paige. I'm cooking a majority of it. She will help me with sides, and she does a lot of like customer service, working the register, talking to people. She's a lot chattier than I am. So she kind of helps me keep it flowing on that end while I'm making plates and stuff. She'll like reach out and make a lot of good connections for us. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Does she do the social media and all that?
Hopefully one day. So she's still working full time. So I try to keep it all on my plate just to help her.
But that's kind of where
we've got a lot of stuff going on. But yeah,
that's kind of where you're the space where you first ignited your passion for this. This is kind of like the online, which I think is where a lot of people get a lot of their inspiration. And I've talked on this before about my spaceship grill. I got a giant gas grill this summer, and like we're just YouTubing, Instagramming that. And that's been the most helpful thing, more so than any other resource. Okay, so what's your favorite thing on your menu?
Favorite thing on the menu?
Or like if I'm coming for the first time, I guess those are two different questions. But like...
My favorite thing on the menu... Everybody probably assumes I'm going to say brisket, but when you've cooked it for long enough, you've eaten it for long enough. I will say, Leroy and Lewis, we didn't do pork ribs. So pork ribs have like had a special place in my heart for a really long time, just because I didn't get to eat them very much. That's my favorite bite on the menu, especially when it comes to the meat. Yeah.
So if I'm walking up on Friday morning, because right now y'all are doing Thursday evenings.
Thursday evenings.
And that's kind of a pared down like burgers and barbecue sandwich menu.
Yeah, kind of like a grab and go, like some sandwiches. We've got some nachos, and then we got our sides available too.
And then, but Friday and Saturday, starting
at 11 o'clock
is when you really get going. If I'm walking up on Friday at 10:59 a.m. What do I need? What do I need to order?
If you've never had our food before, I'm going to recommend you get a 2-meat plate with the brisket, the ribs, and then the dill pickle pasta salad and the cheesy potatoes.
All right.
That's like the go-to order.
Done.
It's the easiest one to. If somebody asks, that's what I say, and they're always like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good."
That does sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your goal here? I mean, you told the folks over at Leroy Lewis, you told Evan that you wanted to go there, learn everything you could, come back and bring it to Memphis. You've brought it to Memphis, but do you have a goal of having a brick and mortar one day, or are you kind of feeling it out?
I mean, that's like my ultimate goal, yes, but also like I don't have anything against being in a food truck if that's where if it's thriving and I'm happy, then that's where I'll stay. I'm not like doing it to become like the ultra mega rich or cool guy in the city. It's what I love to do. So if I can support myself doing it, that's where it's going to be.
So tell me a little bit about this. Is this even a thing, like line culture? Mm-hmm. I feel like it definitely is. We've seen only a little bit of that in Memphis, but like, what have you got going on with that at your spot? At
our spot, not so much. Yes. Yeah. So we would have some lines here for Soul and Spirits because that's where we were for so long. It was easy for people to come and find us. But yeah, line culture, it's
Texas, it's wild.
Yeah, it's been a thing in Texas for so long that nobody minds anymore. Everybody knows like you're going to go there. You're going to get to know the person in front of the line and you're going to get to know the person in the back of the line. You're probably going to get to know everybody else. Like people bring folding chairs. Like I've seen
coolers.
I've seen people bring a tent, pitch a tent to be first in line and then pack it up in the morning and they're out there like cooking on an electric griddle, making coffee, just hanging out, like camping in front of a restaurant.
Tailgating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are serious about it down there that they will be first. It's almost like you get a trophy when you're first in line especially for like a really busy place. And then like a lot of places will give out free beer or like they've got somebody walking the line just to keep people engaged, figure out what people are thinking about ordering so they can kind of gauge when they're going to start running out in the line so they can try to give people like a heads up. Like, hey, when you get here, there might not be any brisket, just so you know, so you're not waiting 2 more hours and then, there's nothing you want. You have to leave.
Is there a chance somebody at the end of the line is like not going to get anything, or do they pretty much know a little ahead of time to be able to tell y'all like kind of here's where we're cutting it off for today?
Yeah, we like at Leroy and Lewis, we always tried to stay ahead of it just to keep everybody happy. So we had somebody that was like making sure everybody on the line was stocked up on food and everything that they need. And they were also like asking how much was left, probably on top of the hour, just so they could tell the person that was walking the line, like go back 20 people. And after that, they're going to be probably not going to get brisket. And then 20 people after that, they're definitely not getting brisket. Yeah. So just kind of gauge expectations. So nobody's like, oh, I'm going to go get everything I want. It's going to be great. And then you're in line for 3 hours and it's like, hey, I've got burgers and chicken. Yeah. So, yeah, good luck.
Good luck. The line culture is very interesting to me. I just think it's really the things that people build community around, like whether they're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go watch Premier League soccer. That is a crazy thing to do. Yeah. This is a crazy thing to do. People out there tailgating at the like Memphis Tigers football game, probably at like 8 a.m. or earlier is a crazy thing to do. But it's all like, I don't know, kind of all feels the same. Yeah,
it's just some weird little thing that the community decided like, this is our thing and we're going to embrace it. So
sometimes people say touch grass. Sometimes they say go get in line for the barbecue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see that for Ritz's barbecue. But I have a couple more quick questions. Are you on a barbecue competition team? Like a Memphis May, a Smoke Slam? They got other competitions all over.
I am not. I never have been. I've had some people interested in having me come out and cook with them.
He's taking bids.
Yeah. So if you need somebody to come and hang out with you for a little bit, or even if you just want to ask me questions and don't have me cook at all, I'm down to come and hang out and have a good time.
Well, that is very generous of you. I was just sure that you were going to tell me that you were on a team.
Not yet.
Yeah, okay,
free agent still. So if you're out there listening to this, send me a DM.
Very exciting. Okay, Travis Ritzie, find him, get him on your team. So y'all I saw for Labor Day, you're doing some like catering, like last year, maybe some holiday meats that people can pre-order. Are you doing a smoked turkey or what are y'all doing? What are your plans for the holidays this fall? Because it's like the first day of fall this week.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be doing basically our full menu for like pre-orders if you want to get something to take for your like family event. We'll have briskets, turkeys, I'll do ham, ribs, pretty much anything that anybody wants. Like if you don't see it on the menu and you're like, hey, I wonder if he would do this, send me a message. I'm a wheeler and a dealer.
What about deep frying a turkey?
I have never done that, but I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would smoke it and then fry it first, of course. But yeah, I would do it.
I've done it a few times. It's real tasty.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're not eating your own barbecue, what are you eating? Are you cooking at home? Are you taking the fam and the baby out? Where are you going?
We do cook a lot at home, but like when we're going out, it's nice to be outside of the house, especially when you kind of operate your business around the house so much. Kinfolk, amazing breakfast, biscuits are killer, and then Hard Times Deli. Love the sandwiches over there. The guys are great. The shop is amazing.
Yeah.
Checking out Edge District is really cool. Aldo's Pizza, their vodka pie has it takes up about half of my heart probably. So I think about that one about every day.
Do you ever get the garlic knots and dip them in the vodka sauce? Like I feel like everybody does that now.
Yes.
Okay,
so
good.
we have to
Thank
get
goodness.
we get a side of vodka sauce to like dip the crust in because just the sauce on the pizza isn't enough.
Yeah.
So
that sounds pretty darn good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come and talk to us. I'm Holly Whitfield, your host of Sound Bites, here with Travis Ritzie of Ritzie's Barbecue. They're up right now at Yorkshire Liquors on Thursday nights and then mornings, Fridays and Saturdays, so they sell out. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Follow them on social media. We'll have a link to it in our little story that I write every Saturday. If you are listening right now live on WYXR, keep on listening. You'll hear the Sidebar podcast with our Daily Memphian CEO, Eric Barnes, right after this. If you're listening now on your podcast app, on your Apple Podcast, and your Spotify, or your whatever, please take the time to subscribe, and that way you won't miss any of our episodes. If you're feeling real crazy, you can also email me, hwhitfield@dailymemphian.com. Tell me what you think. Tell me your guest ideas. Leave us a review on your podcast app. Natalie Van Gundy reads every one of them. She prints them out. She frames them. She hangs them on her wall. Her gallery wall is looking a little empty lately. We need some reviews for her. If we fill up the wall, we'll take a picture and share it on the internet. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
It's real.
It's real. Thank you again, Travis. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you having me on the show.